It was kind of vibe coding before we even had a name for it, frankly. But the progress since has been incredible. Codex is now a teammate that understands your context, it works alongside you, and it can reliably take on work for your team. And we thought about how do we best show you all of the cool things that Codex can now do. We had a lot of ideas. But one that we kind of kept coming back to is, what about building something that we could all experience and see together here in this room right now? If you look up here, some of you might notice a camera that's mounting above the stage. And I thought maybe we could start there. And so earlier, I asked Codex CLI to create a very simple control panel interface with a very simple interface. See, a camera feed on the left, some buttons on the right, and if we can bring my laptop on screen, you'll see what Codex came up with. Initially, it did it really well, but then I also added the Figma branding from the Dev Day event so it could pull the exact colors and components to actually render it perfectly matching our design. I'm sure you can see we have Codex CLI. It's logged in with my ChatGPT account, and it's powered by GPT-5 Codex, our net new model that Sam mentioned. Now, let's start by asking this question that I'm sure many of you have not asked a coding agent before. How to control a Sony FR7 camera in Node? And honestly, I did not know how to get started. I saw there was a C++ SDK, and I thought maybe Codex, we want to use that and turn it into JavaScript. But then it had a much better idea than that. I realized that there's a Visca protocol, apparently, to control these cameras. So, as you can see, Codex can respond pretty fast for questions like this. And this all seemed promising to me. So basically, I went ahead and I typed this script over to Codex to completely scaffold an integration using the Visca protocol and wire it up to that control panel. Here, if we switch over and if we scroll back up, it updated its plan along the way, wrote a lot of code and everything, and this was the final result. As you can see on the screen, it worked for over 13 minutes on that one task, but it did everything I wanted it to do. If I jump over to VS Code now, you can see on the right side of the screen, we also have our Codex integration in the IDE. And these are the files that the Codex CLI came up with for the camera control. So you can see it built a node server. It also figured out all of the UDP packets to send to this camera. Imagine the time it would have taken me to actually learn this protocol. That's over 30 years old, by the way. Codex even figured out that there was some very specific headers to send for this particular camera. All right, so with these UI components now wired up, the server's running, so we can take a quick look and try this. So here, if I turn on the camera, there we go, we have the camera. That's all of you, awesome. And let's try the controls. Boom, I can actually control the camera now from this interface. It's pretty cool. All right. But controlling with buttons is nice, but I think we can do something better. So I'm going to try to send another task, but live this time inside our IDE extension. So check this out. Wire up an Xbox wireless controller to control the camera. So I'm going to send this one right now. I was backstage earlier, and I found this Xbox controller. I wasn't sure who was playing back there, but I thought this could be something we could try. So we're going to leave it here. And as you can see now, Codex made a plan. Apparently, 3 tasks have to be completed. It's now exploring the file. It's figuring out how to wire up this gamepad. And what's interesting here is you can see in the IDE, we also have this concept of auto-context. And what that means is that your prompts can be pretty short because Codex will kind of understand your intent. It will see the recent files that you've used and really kind of adjust accordingly. So as you can see, we're now at task number 2. This one will probably take another minute or so we'll leave it run in the background. So in the meantime, what else could we do? Well, I thought one exciting interface is voice. So to save us a few minutes, I've already asked Codex to integrate with our real-time API and our agents SDK. And I wanted to wire up all of this into the app right here on this green little dot at the bottom right of the screen. But what's great about the real-time API is that it brings natural speech-to-speech into your app, but it also connects to any MCP server in the context of that conversation. And so that really got me thinking, what else could we show you in this room and turn into an MCP server? And then I thought, wait, we have a lighting system, so maybe we could wire up the lighting system of the venue over to an MCP server. So let me check out this task that I sent to Codex, but this time in Codex Cloud. So you can see here my prompt. I asked Codex to wire up this MCP server for this very specific model of lighting system. I gave it like the reference docs that I found, and I gave it the exact interface that I wanted to have for my UI to work. But what's fascinating to me is like if you look at the logs, for instance, like that's really the magic of the agentic behavior of Codex. Like I could have asked a teammate to do that, but because the task was very specific, now Codex is my teammate. And if you look at how it went through the process, it actually figured at some point that it needed to kind of find new information about command 8 to move forward. So then it went ahead to fetch the GitHub docs again to kind of really like operate and call tools along the way. And that's really the magic of GPT-5 Codex. You can really let it go off, do some complex tasks, and you'll see this like agentic behavior emerge. And then after that, I did one more turn to actually ask Codex to like include the README information so I can understand how to run it. And sure enough, here is my MCP server. Now, going back to VS Code, what's also very interesting, sounds like the Xbox task just finished. We'll see that in a moment. Awesome. And now going back here, you can see that you have all of your local, but also your cloud tasks right here inside the VS Code extension. So if I click on the build MCP server, for instance, this is the task I just showed you on Codex Cloud. And here, I can actually apply all of the changes locally if I want to test them. So I can just go ahead and click apply, and now all of the changes with this MCP server are now included locally. Now, I didn't want to let you watch me do npm install here on stage, so I just took that MCP server already and I started to install all of the dependencies to make it run. So let's now put all of that to the test. But first of all, if we go back to our app right here, let's see if we can actually control this camera now with this Xbox controller. There we go, it works. That's pretty awesome. What's funny is like I didn't even specify to Codex which button should do what, but it figured that the joystick was probably a good idea. So that's actually perfect. But let's do the real test now. Let's enter voice mode and see what happens. So sorry in advance, AV team, but we'll try to see if Codex figured this out to control the lights. Hi there. Hello?
Hi there. I can hear you loud and clear. Let me know what you need.
Yeah, what do you see on the camera?
I see a large audience in front of you, with rows of attendees seated and ready. The room is well lit, and the crowd stretches far back, filling the space.
That's right. Could you shine the lights towards the audience? There we go.
I've just lit up the audience with a nice bright wash. They should be perfectly highlighted now.
Can you greet everyone here in the room now?
Absolutely. The audience lights are up. Let's welcome this fantastic crowd. Hello, amazing developers at Fort Mason. We are so excited to have you here for an incredible day.
Awesome. Could you now do something fun with the lights and say hi to people tuning in on the live stream?
We've got the fun lights rolling now, some dynamic, colorful effects in motion. And to everyone watching the live stream, thanks for joining us. This is going to be an amazing experience.
Cool. All right, let's go back to normal now. Awesome. So I still have not written a single line of code, by the way, to make this happen. But there's one more thing I wanted to show you. Last but not least, Sam mentioned that we're launching a Codex SDK today. And so I wanted to finish up with something that gives you a little bit of a glimpse into what might be the future of software engineering. So let me go back into voice mode and try this. Hi, could you ask Codex to show a credits overlay like at the end of the movie, but this time the cast is all Dev Day attendees?
I'm running that with Codex now. I'll let you know when it's ready.
Great. In the meantime, could you start a countdown and take a photo of all of us? Oh, and there we go. So to explain you what just happened here, when I sent a task to the voice agent, it also added Codex SDK as a tool. And what that means is that now, on the fly, I can reprogram this app in real time and instantly adapt it to user needs or any kind of feedback they have. So in this case, when I asked to create a credits overlay, it was able to go ahead and edit the code inside this React app, reload it, find what it needed to complete the task, and now the credits are rolling. So with all that, we took voice, we took a sketch, we took some devices around us, and we turned all of this into workable software. And all of that without writing a single line of code by hand. So really give Codex your most ambitious ideas, give Codex your most complex coding problems, and see what happens. I think you'll be as amazed as we are every day. The only limit now is your imagination. Thank you so much.